Badger Max Thursday Night Lights on My 24 is brought to you by Badger Max Premium Sports Drinks. Drink it to the max. Menards. Save big money at Menards. Wisconsin Lutheran College. American Family Insurance. And by Durzon and Menard. They work for the average Joe. Additional support has been provided by the U.S. Army, the Marines, Goodwill, and Sports Radio 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Welcome to the Badger Max Thursday Night Lights High School Football Game of the Week. We are live at Hart Park as the Red Raiders of Wauwatosa East take on the Hilltoppers from Milwaukee Marquette in a Greater Metro Conference game. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike McGivern. I'm with Sports Radio 105.7 FM, The Fan, and this is the Fan pregame show. I'm joined by the two head coaches tonight's game, Jeff Mazurchek with Milwaukee Marquette and Mike Richards with Wauwatosa East. Mike, let's start with you. Tough start for Wauwatosa East, 0-4. Been pretty competitive in a couple of these games. How are you feeling, and how are the kids feeling about the start?
We're all disappointed in our 0-4 start. The attitudes have still been very, very positive. And I've told the kids, even though we haven't won a game yet, it's not because of a lack of effort, especially on the defensive side of ball and specials. Offensively, we just haven't been able to put together a full game yet. We're still making some mistakes at very, very bad times. And we're trying to put a full game together this evening against Marquette.
Hey, Maz, last year guys like me said, boy, you know what, they graduated a lot of players. Maybe the best quarterback in that conference, certainly one of the best receivers in all the state. A lot of offensive linemen thought maybe this year might be a dip for Milwaukee Marquette, but so far so good. 3-1 overall. The only loss was to a powerhouse out of state. Feeling pretty good about this group?
We are. I like this crew of kids. They're hard workers. They do everything we ask and then some. We have a practice at our place where we'll do extra work, and they sign up for it. And every single time we put it out there, they jump in and they go get it. It's an interesting group. It's a real blend of different personalities, but there's good leadership from the seniors and there's good leadership from the juniors, and so they blended really nicely so far.
Hey, Coach, I'm going to ask you guys the same question. On the radio show that I do, the talk of is football as safe as it's ever been? Question keeps coming up as numbers in certain programs continue to dwindle, and I'm wondering what your opinion is on that.
I think football is as safe as it ever can be and ever was. I think a lot of it comes down to coaching. I think there's a lot of responsibility on us as high school coaches and our youth league coaches to teach tackling the correct way, the correct technique, so that they keep their head out of football. Helmets are better than they've ever been. The shoulder pads are better, but the kids are bigger and faster. And so technique and tackling and teaching kids that they got to hit with their shoulder pads and use their body more than their helmet, I think is can avoid concussions. And I know that doesn't make parents feel safe, but I think it's about as safe as it's ever been.
Hey, Coach, same question for you.
I'm going to agree with everything that Maz had just said. I think football is as safe as it's ever been. What I would like to pitch in would be football's hard. And with today's technology where, when we were in school, you got to go actually look something up by using a dictionary or something. But what I'm getting at is you got to put in the time and effort to be a good football player. And sometimes the average kid nowadays may not want to do that. But in terms of the safety of it, if I had a son, I would encourage him to play football.
Hey, good luck tonight. Good luck tonight, boys. I'm going to cut you guys loose. We're going to get to a break. Other side of the break, Terry Kelly and John Weiser will get you the keys of the game. This is the Badger Max Thursday Night Lights High School Football Game of the Week, only on My 24.
Week 5 of the high school football season has us at Hart Park in Wauwatosa tonight as the Tosa East Red Raiders get set to take on the Marquette Hilltoppers. Along with Terry Kelly, John Weiser with you. Glad you're along tonight for our high school football game of the week on My 24. As we get set for a Greater Metro Conference showdown tonight, we've got teams looking for that third conference win.
If you want to get to the playoffs, you have to get to 4 wins. Week 5, as you mentioned, that's your chance for Marquette to get the third. Tosa East wants to get on the winning track.
Tosa East still looking for that first win of the year. They've had a tough go of it early on. Played a very tough Union Grove team and then got down early in that ball game against Sussex Hamilton last week.
Right. They're a little low on numbers, but they've been competing extremely hard.
And Marquette coming off a come-from-behind win over Menominee Falls last week.
Well, their defense played very well. The offense struggled at times, so they certainly have to get both parts of that game equalized.
Let's take a look at the players we're going to keep an eye on here tonight. A pair of captains for that Tosa East offensive, a couple of wide receivers.
Ryan Kellenhofer and Cade McGowan, two very, very good receivers, good hands, really do a nice job leading the team.
And then on the defensive side, Marvin Britt and Jermaine Copeland.
Right, they've got one of the linebackers. Britt has had an outstanding year, and Copeland at the defensive line position has been a real leader for Tosa East.
On the other sideline for Marquette, probably one of the best quarterbacks in the area in Jack Dwyer.
He's really surprised people. He's the heir to Charlie Greif, who did so well, but he's had an outstanding year, one of the leaders in the area passing. And Coach Maz said that the second offensive person to feature was their line. They have to do a much better job, establish that they can control the line of scrimmage.
Pair of defenders on that defensive side for the Hilltoppers, a couple of hard hitters.
Nick Leach plays the defensive end, has had a very good year. He's been offered by Valpo University, and Pat English in the defensive backfield also has had a very good year.
That leads us now to our Badger Max keys to the ball game tonight, Terry. How do you have it drawn up?
Well, Tosa East has to make good use of their skill people. They have those receivers. That combines with Luke Lindemann as their quarterback, has to be able to sprint out, get to the outside, and then more than anything, they feel they have to get pressure on Jack Dwyer.
And for the Hilltoppers tonight, what do they need to do?
Well, strangely, they don't want to have so many big plays. They'd like to sustain their offense. They think that that's a key. They want to make sure that they contain Luke Lindemann, put pressure on the quarterback, and then the other part of the game, they've got an excellent punter. They need him to turn the field.
Should be an exciting ball game tonight, a Greater Metro Conference clash. Marquette taking on Tosa East. We'll have the kickoff right after this. A humid, rainy evening tonight in Wauwatosa as we get set for our kickoff tonight. Thursday Night Lights at Hart Park in Wauwatosa. Marquette High School hosting the Tosa East Red Raiders, although both teams call this their home field. Marquette the home team here tonight. Let's get set for our national anthem tonight, our color guard presented by the U.S. Marines, color guard out of Milwaukee.
Please remain standing and sing along as Junior Jensen Stanton leads us in singing our national anthem. By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight bright star through the
Nice job, Jensen Stanson from Marquette University High School with our national anthem tonight. Again, our color guard tonight, the U.S. Marine color guard out of Milwaukee as Marquette Hilltoppers take the field. Tosa East on the far sideline. Marquette will have the near sideline here this evening. We mentioned it's a rainy night. Had some rain move through about 4:30 this afternoon. Field turf, so we're in good shape there, but hopefully the heavy stuff not going to come around for a while.
Right, we certainly want to keep the lightning at bay and have a chance to get this game running through and played to its full completion.
Our game ball tonight is delivered by Sergeant Kovis of the United States Marine Corps of the recruiting station on North Milwaukee. Sergeant Kovis handing the game ball to our referee tonight, Dave Strash out of Kenosha.
And prior to tonight's game, Andrew Burns of Badger Max Premium Sports Drinks, along with our officiating crew, headed up by Dave Strash, and the team captains took part in the pregame coin toss. We're proud and excited to have Badger Max, a Wisconsin product, as a big part of our Thursday Night Lights telecast this season. Again, thank you, Andrew, and the fine folks at Badger Max Premium Sports Drinks. The coin toss won by Marquette. They deferred their decision, and Tosa East elected to defend rather than take the ball.
Afraid that there was a little misunderstanding to the fellows who went out to the coin toss. The referee was hopeful that that would work out, but nevertheless, we're going to see Tosa East kick off. Marquette will get the ball then to start each half.
Oscar Hernandez, soccer player, does the kicking for the Tosa East Red Raiders. English and Swan are deep for the Hilltoppers. Tosa East looking for their first win of the year. Marquette coming in at 3-1. Their only loss at Loyola of Chicago, week number 2.
Number 2 ranked team in the Chicago area, having a wonderful year.
English from his own 6, up the middle, cuts it across the 20, breaks it outside the hash to the 30. Penalty markers fly as he gets out of bounds short of the 35-yard line. Driving him out there was Matt Kubiak, wide receiver defensive back on special teams.
Once again, what special team coaches tell their players, you see the guy's number on his back.
Right there.
You've got to just stand there, let the guy turn into you so you don't get that penalty.
I believe it'll be on Nick Leach on special teams for Marquette. You saw the block in the back there. That's going to set Marquette back deep to start their first drive of the ball game. Jack Dwyer, their quarterback, 6'3", 175, and his senior. He's thrown for 979 yards and 8 touchdowns on the year.
Yeah, one of the leading passers in the area in terms of total yardage. Last week ran into a little problem. He threw 4 interceptions, which kind of derailed the Marquette offense, but he responded in the second half through a couple of really marvelous pitches to some folks, got the touchdowns, and Marquette pulled that game out.
Had the 3-point touch going in that basketball sectional last year against Milwaukee King. He'll throw on first down, swings it out far side. Michael Duffy with the catch and run across the 30 and out of bounds, short of the 35-yard line. Gain of 19 and a first down. Our first Wisconsin Lutheran College first down of the ball game. Ryan Kelnhofer on the tackle.
Duffy was honorable mention last year as the all-purpose player in the conference.
One more look, just swinging it out. That's the change that's going on in football. Gone away from the fullback and the tailback, and they throw the ball now at Marquette as English makes the catch out across the check that is not English, that's Michael Mackey, the 6'2" senior wide receiver, brought down again by Kelnhofer, and they'll go with a hurry up. 2 by 2 each side on second and short. They'll swing it out near side. Gianpietro with the catch and the first down out to midfield. Again, a gain of 12 and a first down. Another Wisconsin Lutheran first down. Again, this season first down sponsored by Wisconsin Lutheran College, located in Milwaukee, a comprehensive Christian college offering 37 undergraduate majors and accelerated degree completion program for adult learners and graduate degree options. Learn more at WLC.edu. From midfield, 1st and 10, Marquette, in their first run of the ball game. Gerard Swan, 6'1", 185-pound senior, on his feet down to the 40-yard line, a pickup of 10.
Yeah, Swan on the year has picked up 300 yards rushing and taken in another 256 yards receiving with 6 touchdowns.
Kelnhofer on a busy night. That's his 3rd tackle tonight. Ryan Kelnhofer, the safety, going to be busy tonight. They'll go single back, stack 3 to the right side. 1st and 10, Marquette from the 40. They'll go with a slant route caught by Gianpietro. Makes the catch, fights his way inside the 30 down to the 28-yard line, a gain of 12, and another Wisconsin Lutheran College first down brought down by Derek Hunter.
Charlie Greif, of course, was the quarterback for Marquette last year. Had a very, very fine year. Had a marvelous receiver, Jake Kowski, who's at the Air Force Academy right now. And they found with Jack Dwyer a very able replacement.
Log on to my24milwaukee.com. Click on the Thursday Night Lights link tonight. That's where you'll find our stream and all the pictures of our ball game tonight as Dwyer takes it down inside the 15, or Swan, I should say, inside the 15-yard line of Tosa East. Copeland brought him down. Jermaine Copeland, a player we featured tonight as one of the keys for Tosa East. And we want to welcome the great folks at Goodwill as a sponsor this season. When a team drives inside their opponent's 20-yard line, they've entered the Power Zone, brought to you by Goodwill and the Power of Work. From the 13-yard line, they'll swing it out far side, making the catch inside the 5 into the end zone. Touchdown, Daniel Reardon. Reardon, the junior wide receiver, his 4th touchdown of the year, and Marquette made it look easy, matriculating down the football field.
It was his catch last week against Falls that really turned things around. Behind the back catch. The pass was thrown well behind him, and he responded.
Got a step on the corner out there, Tyson Crape. Now the kick for the extra point. Patrick Lundeen will try the extra point here. It is up and through. 7-0 Marquette. A snappy minute-and-a-half drive. Despite the penalty on the kickoff, they marched it right down the field 10-12 at a time.
Well, we talked before the game that Coach Maz wanted to see the offensive line become a little bit more dominant, and one of the problems when you're primarily a passing team, to be able to get that running game, that's asking a lot of your blockers. That's 2 different styles of blocking, but he wants to see them be able to go both directions. Get later in the year, sometimes that weather doesn't cooperate.
Let's head to our first sideline visit of the ball game, and Mr. Mike McGivern.
So this is a question for Terry Kelly. This is not your old smash and bash of Marquette Hilltoppers, is it?
Dick and I would probably have a heart attack watching this.
Hey,
Dick liked to throw, but
not like this.
We got under center every now and then.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I'm watching this drive, and they handed it off twice, and I'm thinking Coach Basham is rolling, man. He's rolling his eyes. And Coach Kelly, if you haven't seen the Hilltoppers in a while, this is not your old Marquette Hilltoppers.
I still love the trap block.
Yes, you do. Back to you, boys.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. I've been on the opposite side at my days in high school of that smash 'em bash 'em football.
Well, I was very fortunate to have the chance to work with Dick Basham for 31 years. One of Wisconsin's all-time winningest coaches.
McGowan inside his own 5. Across the 15 to the 20, met and dropped there. He'll go down. Nice play, nice cover on special teams. Getting down there, Joseph Arado. Getting down there for Marquette. So Tosa East will start this drive at their own 21-yard line. Their first offensive set of the night.
We mentioned that they do have some skilled people out there. Kelnhofer, a very fine receiver. Cade McGowan, a 2-year starter. 9 catches already on the year. And they realize that they might not be able to run the ball, so they have to be able to establish the pass. And to make the pass work, they feel they have to roll Luke Lindemann out. He's being tutored, by the way, by a marvelous former University of Wisconsin Whitewater quarterback, Jeff Donaldson, Donovan, I should say, who had an outstanding career here at Wauwatosa East.
Block in the back penalty will actually push the Red Raiders back at their own 11-yard line. Dave Strash, our referee here tonight. 1st and 10, Tosa East. Lindemann at quarterback. McGowan in one slot. The flanker is Sabry. Kelnhofer at a split ends position. And Kelnhofer wants to swing it out. Out of the backfield with it is Avery Luckett. Luckett getting across the line of scrimmage, out across to the 16-yard line for a pickup of 5. Luckett, a 5'9", 160-pound junior.
One of the plays that Menominee Falls had success with last week against Marquette was throwing out to that 3-receiver set, getting a couple blockers out in front, being able to get that running back out in the flat, Avery Luckett.
Robert Stewart, the outside linebacker, getting the first chip on Luckett. 2nd and 5 for the Red Raiders. Ball at the 16-yard line of Tosa East. Empty backfield. They'll roll Lindemann out. Lindemann on the chase, now going to be sacked back behind the 10-yard line. Good read that time, stepping up. Nick Leach, the senior defensive end. That is his 7th sack of the season.
Right. Valpo University has offered him a scholarship. Leach came on last year. They moved him from a linebacker to an end, put his hand down, and he had enjoyed a lot of success last year. Became a real stabilizing force on that front 3 that they play.
3rd and 12 upcoming, a loss of 7 on that play on the sack by Leach. They'll go 3 wide, far side. Single back is Luckett. Lindemann will swing it out to Luckett again. Could not carry it in, incomplete, being chased down by Noah Nordness, the outside linebacker for Marquette. And so Tosa East, the penalty to start this drive, and then the sack killing the drive.
Right, and you hate to have to punt from the shadows of your own end zone, possibly giving Marquette excellent field position.
Jose Dersardin, the junior punter, out there for East. Patrick English, the punt returner, standing near midfield. Good snap. Gets this one away. Punting into the wind. English will signal fair catch. Bobbled it, but fell on it at the 39-yard line. Almost a dangerous play there, but Patrick English able to cover it up. Take another look, kind of a knuckling punt, and it went through the fingertips, but a good, fortunate bounce for the Hilltoppers. English was able to cover it up at his 39-yard line for Tosa East.
Yeah, English has good speed, and he wanted to use that, but you have to catch that ball first.
Let's head downstairs to Kara.
Thank you so much. I've got Dr. Daniel Johnson with Wisconsin Lutheran College down here with me. What differentiates WLC from other colleges?
Well, first of all, thank you for having us here tonight. We are really blessed with a distinctive mission. We provide an outstanding higher educational experience for our students, 37 majors from business to education to nursing and all things healthcare. But while doing that, we promote our spiritual growth for our students and also prepare them for lives of Christian leadership. You know, as I go and speak to business leaders throughout the region, I'm reminded time and again of the desperate need for moral and ethical leaders, Christian leaders. And it's an awesome ministry, an awesome mission, and we're really blessed to be able to do what we do.
And if anybody is looking for information on WLC, where can they go?
Yeah, well, first of all, we're about 2 miles down the road, across the street from Frederick Children's Hospital. Please schedule a visit. But September 25th are our fall preview days, and you can register and learn more about our college at wlc.edu.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for Thursday Night Lights this season.
Thank you.
And back to you guys.
Kara, thank you. 3rd and 2. They swing it out to Giampietro. Makes the catch inside the 25. Wrestled down at the 21-yard line. Stepping up was Ali Sibri. The cornerback saved the touchdown that time for Tosa East.
For Marquette, that quick passing game is almost like they're handing off. That's how they look at what they're trying to run.
Nearly had that first pass of this drive picked off. They'll swing it out of the backfield. This is Swan. Swan still on his feet and then gets leveled just across the 15-yard line. Gain of about 6 to Gerard Swan. Swan, one of those interesting stat lines. He has 300 rushing yards and nearly as many pass reception yards.
Right, he is their primary rushing game. They don't really use that many other backs, but he also has become very effective catching the ball out of the backfield.
2nd and about 3 for Marquette. They lead 7-0. Back inside the Goodwill Power Zone red zone, and they hand it off to Swan as he's wrestled down near the first down stick as we head back downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, listen to the defensive coordinator from Milwaukee Marquette talking about the job they did. Happy with that. Reminded these guys not to get chippy, not to get caught up in any of that. He said, remember, you get ejected from a game like this, you lose one game. Don't do it. Just play our game, play clean, play hard, and let's get the job done. Pretty interesting. He talked about it this early in the game.
3rd and 1, play action. Dwyer under pressure, throws it back into the end zone. A drop for what would have been 6 points. Right through the wicket that time. Michael Duffy would love to get that one back.
Dwyer put it right on the mark, right there, on his rollout. Throws back. And sometimes you're just a little too relaxed taking that ball in.
Good pressure by DJ Verser, the senior defensive lineman, able to flush Dwyer to his right. 4th and inches. They'll pitch it out. Swan trying to go left side. 15-5 into the end zone. Touchdown, Marquette. Gerard Swan, the rushing touchdown. He'll go as an 11-yard run on the toss. Sweep to the left side.
It's rather interesting if people think back to the old days, how the quarterback used to have to spin and pitch. Now you watch the Packers, for example, with Rodgers, it's that little shovel toss to get around. But when you're spreading people out so well, that helps give you some lanes, and Gerard found one that time.
Lundeen on for the extra point. The kick is up, and it is good. 14-0. Marquette Hilltoppers leading here midway through our first quarter. 39-yard drive capped off by the 11-yard touchdown run. One more time here on the toss to Swan. Nice job downfield by the receiver. I believe that was that Reardon on the near side.
Reardon
sustained his block, able to take the safety or the cornerback that time, backed him all the way into the end zone.
Yeah, the receiver I mentioned that graduated and is out at the Air Force Academy, Jake Makovich. Not only could he really, really catch the ball, he was a tenacious blocker downfield. And, he's out there in his plebe year. They tell me that they shaved Jake's head, and he's got his glasses on, and he looks like the, primary math student of all times. And I guess he was almost on the travel squad for their first game, and that's not something that happens with many of the plebes out at the academy.
It's interesting you bring him up. He was on my game notes here tonight. Last year's ball game, he had 9 catches for 234 yards and 2 touchdowns against this Tosa East squad.
Right.
Kelnhofer and McGowan standing, awaiting the kick. They're inside the 10-yard line. And this will be Kelnhofer on the return. Gets to the 20, and that's it. First man down that time for Marquette was Michael Crowley. Put a stop into Kellner's penetration, and it was Nordness who got down there to wrap him up. 6 plays, 39 yards, the 11-yard touchdown run by Swan, making it a 14-0 lead for the Hilltoppers.
In this quick tempo that Marquette plays can certainly take a toll on Tosa East, who has a number of players going both ways.
Pistol formation here. And they will hand it off, and nothing there for Avery Luckett. He is driven back. It'll be a loss of 3, maybe 4 on the play for Luckett. Getting in there quickly, Joel Nolte, the junior, nose tackle, along with Stewart.
Yeah, Joel Nolte is a guy that's kind of emerged as the season's gone on. 6'2", 245 pounds, good size.
So a loss of 4, 2nd and 14. Lindemann, again working from the pistol, has Kelnhofer split single coverage far side. Showing blitz are the Hilltoppers. They roll the quarterback out, gets away from pressure and throws it away incomplete. Coming back to the near sideline looking for Sabry, the flanker, here on the near side. Nick Leach on the rush that time.
Yeah, Nick got upfield and trying to make sure he contains the quarterback. We talked in the pregame about the need for Luke to get to the outside, Luke Lindemann, to get away from that pressure. And, once again, he's got to at least get a seal block on that defensive end to give him a chance.
3rd and 14 from the 16-yard line. Again, Luckett, the single back in the backfield, 2 by each side. Lindemann rolling, fires, completes out across the 20. McGowan with the catch and brought down immediately after the catch that time, just across the 22-yard line. Getting up to make the stop that time, Stewart once again, the outside linebacker for the Hilltoppers.
Kelnhofer and McGowan are the primary receivers for Lindemann. He's trying to find a way to get the ball to him. They thought they would be able to maybe get a couple other matchups, possibly with Ali Sabri. They're going to have to find some ways to loosen Marquette up.
English standing at midfield, waiting the punt from Gersande. Or check that from Dersarden. And will bounce back into Red Raider territory, out of bounds at the 49-yard line. Just a 25-yard punt. We'll take our break. 5.5 minutes to go, first quarter. It's been all Marquette. Hilltoppers leading the Red Raiders 14-0. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights on My 24. (14-0) Marquette on top of Tosa East. John Weiser, Terry Kelly, Mike McGivern, Kara, and our entire My 24 sports crew. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights at Hart Park in Wauwatosa. Once again, we head downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, listen to the Tosa East coaching staff. They want to try to get some pressure on the quarterback from Marquette. Having a hard time with that. He's a little too comfortable. They're going to see what they can do about putting some pressure on him this series.
Duffy on the jet sweep out across the 45 and out of bounds near the 44-yard line. Gain of about 5 on the play. Ran out by Jermaine Copeland along with some help from Avery Luckett on defense. And Luckett, one of those players that goes both ways.
Yeah, Copeland is doing a nice job at the defensive end. He leads their team in tackles. He has to become a little bit more a part of the game with getting that pressure.
Drop ball once again, throwing it out to Daniel Reardon. Dropped a couple here early on. Goes incomplete, sets up 3rd and 6 here for Marquette.
I'm sure Coach Jake Giuseppe, the offensive coordinator, is going to be talking to his guys about, just relax, look the ball in, don't try to make your move prior to catching the ball.
4 receivers going out. Single back is Gerard Swan. Now he breaks out, coming near side. They're going to swing it back near side. Swan with the catch, gets the first down and more across the 35 and wrestled down near the 32-yard line. That'll be enough for another Wisconsin Lutheran first down. Copeland and Crape both there for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, Copeland has excellent range. He runs well to get out there from the defensive end position.
Again this season, First Down sponsored by Wisconsin Lutheran College, located in Milwaukee, a comprehensive Christian college offering 37 undergraduate majors and accelerated degree completion program for adult learners and graduate degree options. Learn more at WLC.edu. Another swing pass out to the right side, another long completion once again to Swan, who's getting a workout catching the football here tonight.
Right, they're trying to make sure they spread the ball so defenses can't key on any one guy. Makes it a little tougher then to defend the field.
Once again in the Goodwill Power Zone, brought to you by Goodwill and the Power of Work. Swan going to be wrapped up immediately just across the line of scrimmage. Good job staying home that time. Kari Crape, the senior defensive end, captain on that defense for the Red Raiders.
Right, and that's one of the things that Coach Maz has been talking about. They've got to be able to run the ball. Every now and then they spread out. They should be able to run that short trap inside, but they're looking for that consistency.
2nd and 10 from the 18. Dwyer rolling out left. Now steps up, fires, completes the pass just short of the 5-yard line and going out of bounds with it on the reception. First catch of the night tonight for Henry Lamers. Lamers a 6'3 defensive, or I should say wide receiver. And Lamers a junior.
I think that's about the 6th different Marquette guy to catch a pass, so they're really spreading that ball around.
So it'll be 1st and goal, Marquette. In the Goodwill Power Zone, the power of work. 3rd and 1, excuse me. And again, going up trying to make the catch and coming up empty is Daniel Reardon. He was well covered on the play. That was Taishin Crape and also Luckett out there defensively.
This is identical to the ball that was thrown to him against Menominee Falls, where he had to reach back, and he made an outstanding catch last week. Almost had that one, turned himself completely around, tried to bring in the ball from Dwyer.
Well, 4th and inches here for the Hilltoppers. Swan the single back behind the quarterback Dwyer. They'll give it to Swan. Penalty markers fly as Swan will take it close to the goal line. And we may have 2 men in motion here on Marquette. Somebody didn't get set, and that's exactly what we got. Dave Strash, our referee tonight.
Yeah, the back was going to motion to lead through the hole, and unfortunately the wide receiver running in motion across the formation. That's a no-no, as they say.
So that'll move them out of 4th and inches, 4th and 4.5 here for the Marquette Hilltoppers. So now they'll bring the field goal unit on. Lundeen will attempt, will be a 30-yard field goal. Snap, the spot, the kick, it's to the uprights, and the kick is good. 30-yard field goal for Lundeen. Tacks 3 more on for the Hilltoppers. Makes it a 17-0 lead for Marquette. I guess if you're a Hilltopper fan, anytime a drive ends with a kick, that's pretty good.
Right, both kickers for Marquette, their punter Ryan Gersonde and Patrick Lundeen, have been having good years. Lundeen has good range. They found that his confidence has grown. He kicked a little bit last year, came back as a senior, settled into the job. They have 2 different special team former kickers for Marquette working with him, tutoring him all the time.
So far the rain has held off here early on. Some showers moved through, like I said, around the dinner hour out here, between 4 and 6 o'clock tonight.
I hope we didn't put the curse on him with that statement.
Rain we can handle. It's the lightning we don't want to see here. Our turf field can handle the water. That's not a problem. It's the lightning. Again, a 9-play drive capped off by the Lundeen 30-yard field goal. The key there, the penalty on 4th and inches. Running up, making the catch here is Cade McGowan. Penalty markers flies. He takes it across the 25, and he'll be driven back there. First man there, Jack Tarpey, Jr. for Marquette, was there. We'll check out the flags here. Maybe another block in the back here.
Possibly holding. I thought I saw the side official come up and indicate.
It is a holding call against Tosa East.
Drive special team coordinators crazy. Ask the Packers about what those special teams penalties can do. That's why they were a little happier with last week's performance.
See if we catch it. That might be right there.
Well, they had their choice, blocking it back or holding.
Well, before we get this first down play, I want to remind you a hit show on cable is now coming to broadcast TV. Don't miss Kira Sedgwick as the closer. Wednesdays at 7, starting September 30th. Only on Milwaukee's My 24. 1st and 10 for Tosa East, starting another drive inside their own 20. They have not had good field position tonight. Luckett call and Luckett down behind the line of scrimmage. Right there was Jovan Hudson, right in the grill of Luckett as he took that handoff from the quarterback, Lindemann.
Yeah, Hudson was hobbled a little earlier in the year with a hamstring injury that he kept pulling. He thought he was, cleared and come back and strain it again, so they finally held him out of a complete game. At 6 feet, 212, excellent speed. Once again, you need that defensive end to bring pressure.
Loss of 2, 2nd down, 12. Lindemann, quick toss near side, McGowan. McGowan, nowhere to go. He'll be brought down back at the 12-yard line. Be another loss of 3 on the play. Nick Leach had that smoked out for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, last week against Menominee Falls, which did feature a pretty fine running attack, Marquette held them to 2 yards total rushing. They did have a little more success, Falls, with the passing game. Coming into this game, Coach Maz realized they were going to see primarily a passing team. So you can see they've been trying to change up their coverages, put a little pressure, shooting a linebacker every now and then.
3rd and 15 here for the Tosa East Red Raiders. Lindemann rolling to his left, being chased out of the pocket. Will cut it upfield. He'll get to the 10-yard line, and that's it. Whipsawed out of bounds that time by Seamus Floyd. The senior inside linebacker, Floyd, having an outstanding year. 44 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, and a sack so far on his docket this year.
Yeah, the way the defense is set up, that front 3 are supposed to absorb the blocks and let your linebackers and DBs make tackles. You just want to make sure that they're not getting all the way to your defensive backfield. But so far the Hilltoppers have been having a good show on defense this evening.
They're started punting out of his own end zone. English will take it at his own 43. Up the near sideline to the 40, 35-30, and out of bounds just across the 24-yard line. So a good return for English. Another short field for the Hilltoppers here. We're late in the first quarter. They lead it by a score of 17-0. Cade McCown running English out of bounds that time for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, other than that opening kickoff where they had the penalty and were backed up, they've started this side of the 50 on each of their drives.
This drive will start from the Red Raider 24-yard line. Two backs in the backfield here. Swan, the tailback. And they'll fake to the left, come back to the right. The catch is made by Reardon. Reardon over the middle, takes a belt inside the 20, down to the 16-yard line before he is finally driven to the turf there. Good concentration that time by Daniel Reardon, coming right back to him. He's dropped a couple early. Little circle screen, little bubble screen that time by the wideout.
There's two other receivers out there right away. They're there in position to put the blocks, and Reardon came underneath them.
Again, we're in the power zone, brought to you by Goodwill and the power of work. Hilltoppers facing second and short. This is Duffy coming around the right side. Duffy still with it, breaks a tackle inside the 10, fights forward down to the 6-yard line. Late penalty marker thrown down there as well. Michael Duffy, 5'11", 173, a junior, was an honorable mention all-purpose player a year ago in the Greater Metro.
Yeah, that's a position that the Greater Metro put in to look for guys who return kicks, might be on special teams covering kicks. They think that's a very worthwhile position, you know.
Got a 5-yard face mask foul here. Picked up right there. Came in late. Might have been on Copeland. Didn't mean to get that hand up there. That's 4 tackles tonight for Copeland. Right there. Got the arm up and crossed the grill and turned the head, and that's what the officials saw.
You do have to be impressed with how Copeland is able to run to that outside and make a number of tackles. He's been called upon to do that quite often so far in this first quarter.
First and goal from the 3. Swan up the middle, breaks it outside. Touchdown Marquette. Gerard Swan, second touchdown of the night. Makes it a 23-0 ball game. Gerard Swan having an outstanding season. He was second team all-conference a year ago.
You and I had a chance to talk with Coach Mike Richards in the week, and you know, the thing he feared is, since he's low on numbers, number of guys going both ways, the fact that they get worn down as the game goes on. And obviously, you know, Marquette has the numbers and has the skill that can really compound the problem.
Lundine's kick is good. 24-0 Hilltoppers. Minute 17 to go. Again, taking advantage of a short field, a short drive, but a sustained drive capped off by the 3-yard touchdown run by Swan, his second tonight.
You get that short field, puts pressure on your defense. You're already a little bit outmanned. You know, Coach Richards says his kids fight hard. They come out to practice every day, work their tails off, and he just would like to see some things go better for them.
Yeah, we had a chance to visit with Coach Richards at his practice on Monday as well, and the kids were hustling, doing all the right things, didn't have to worry about it. The assistant coaches had all their kids out there. It's just that the numbers are down, and trying to work with the group you have. And the kids are eager. They want to learn. They want to play hard. They do play hard.
The Greater Metro Conference is an excellent league, and tonight's rivalry, this was rivalry week, so there'll be some big games tomorrow night, Brookfield Central and Brook East for one.
Just under a minute of possession that time, capped off by the Swan run. This one will hit the turf. McGowan will pick up at the 10. The middle to the 15, and is trying to fight through a couple of different tackles and driven back there. Forward progress. They'll give him the 17-yard line. And the Hilltoppers down there on special teams, converging almost immediately on the ball. Tarpley again, or Tarpey I should say, along with Nordness, in there for the Hilltoppers. And we got a little bit of rain falling here at Hart Park. Rain we can live with.
Right. Just don't want to see that horn and light that indicates that there's lightning in the area.
So 1st and 10 again. 4th drive that has started inside the 20 here for Tosa East. Luckett the single back. Lindemann will give it to Luckett, trying to turn the corner left side. Trying to fight his way out across the 20 and did get to the 21-yard line. Good game tackle that time again by the Hilltopper defense. Led once again by Nick Leach. And there's the lightning detector there. Keep an eye on that tonight. It's Craig's job. He's got to keep an eye on that tonight. He's the spotter, so he's got to spot that for us tonight. Gain of 3, 2nd down 7 upcoming here. Under a minute to go here in our first quarter. Play fake. Lindemann dumps it out to Luckett. Has some blockers in front. And Luckett brought down from behind just across the 20-yard line. Great chase there by the defensive lineman. Nick Leach once again coming all the way across the line of scrimmage to make that play on Luckett.
Leach is a perfect illustration of just how you kind of move up the evolutionary ladder. He started off as a linebacker, but sometimes if you don't have that speed, they're going to move you to line. Then they take that defensive back who can be a little bigger. They move him to linebacker. And then they got the guys that can run the 4.5s, 4.6s. Those are going to become your DBs.
3rd and 7 when we come back. 1 quarter in the books here at Hart Park in Wauwatosa. Marquette on top of Tosa East. 24-0. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights on My 24. Thursday Night Lights presented by Badger Max here on My 24. Hart Park in Wauwatosa. It's the light rain here. 24-0. Marquette on top of Tosa East. A Greater Metro Conference clash tonight. 3rd and long as they swing it out here to Kelnhofer. Kelnhofer gets to the 23-yard line and is driven back. Michael Crowley, the safety out there, along with Nordness, stopping him short of the first down, so it'll be 4th down, and once again, Tosa East punting deep out of their own zone.
Last thing they want to certainly do is give the ball back to Marquette, their side of the 50.
Got it. And they blocked the punt. Got a piece of it. It'll be picked up by special team player Kyrie Roberts, able to make the catch there. And so Marquette will get excellent field position here at the 35-yard line.
You know, sometimes when things start to go bad, the ball just keeps rolling that way. And Coach Richards pointed out in 2 of their 4 games that they've lost this year, they had the lead early on. And as the game wore on, that fact that they're playing so many guys took its toll.
Again, a reminder, Badger Max Thursday Night Lights available streaming live online. Log on to my24milwaukee.com and click on the Thursday Night Lights link. You can also find complete game videos and photos from this season's games. From the Red Raider 35-yard line, 1st and 10 Marquette. They lead 24-0. 2 receivers split far side with a slot here in the near side. They go to the slot man, makes the catch. He'll take it all the way in for the touchdown. Michael Mackey, the 6'2 senior, wide out here in a slot on the left side was the slot receiver, and he was wide open, a clean release, and an excellent pass by Dwyer, and Marquette adds to their lead.
He's lined up sort of in close. You wouldn't call him a tight end, but it's like the old pop pass that you would do. And with so many wide receivers, there are a number of seams up the field. Dwyer took advantage of that.
Chance to add on to it here as the extra point is up, and it is good. 31-0. That's 5 possessions now for Marquette, 5 scores, and their average drive time right around a minute. Camped off by Michael Mackey's 6'2", 186-pound senior on the touchdown grab. The young man's going to be in shape tonight.
Probably missed school tomorrow.
Is he in your English class tomorrow?
No. We'll have to see if a couple of these guys get their work done.
So 31-0 Marquette. Something Maz talked about too in practice on Monday was getting off to a good start tonight. They kind of weren't in sync early in that game against Menominee Falls last week, and that was a key that he was working on in practice, upping the tempo, wanting the tempo to pick up, particularly with that offensive line, as we mentioned in the pregame, keying that offensive line.
Yeah, even though they're getting the quick scores, and he said he wanted to sustain a drive, well, he certainly can't be unhappy with the results they're getting.
35-yard touchdown reception by Mackey, one play, all of 7 seconds. Kellenhofer underneath this one at the 10. Gets to the 20. Out across 25, breaks a tackle to the 30 and out to the 32-yard line where he is shouldered out of bounds there. Jacob Baisden able to get him out that time for Marquette. All season, Mike and Kara will have the opportunity to talk with sponsors, coaches, and other guests down on the sidelines, letting you know about the great things going on in the schools and communities we visit. Our sideline reports are being brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. And just when you thought a little ray of hope here for Tosa East, starting a drive from outside their own 20-yard line, they get a penalty on the special teams.
You know, and you look at a guy like Ryan Kellenhofer, he's giving his all. He's a 4-year starter, one of their captains. Last year was first-team all-conference, happened to have been third, I guess, in the greater metro in total yards receiving. And, you find him playing both ways, giving everything he's got. You just, sometimes things don't pay off, yet I'm sure Kellenhofer, and I know Coach Richards appreciates what he's doing. And so you've got to make sure you take the positive lessons you gain from playing this sport.
Three wide, I should say, top of the screen here on first down. Lindemann rolling out, and it is picked off. Intercepted, the linebacker dropping back that time. Evan Walashek. Or was it Nordness? It's Nordness, 44. Noah Nordness with the interception. First turnover of the ball game, and it goes to Marquette. Not sure Lindemann saw him that time.
Yeah, Nordness was a young man who was plagued last year as a sophomore by some injuries. Didn't get a chance to play certainly as much as he liked, and he's really emerged this year, has done an outstanding job. 19 tackles, 16 assists on the year.
So Nordness with the pick sets up Marquette at the 26 of Tosa East. Lindemann looked like he was trying to get it to McGowan, and it was just the linebacker just stepped right in front of the route. Dwyer will hand it off. Moving the pile forward, pounding it inside the 20, down to the 15-yard line. Good strong run as we reach the power zone once again. There's our first.
Yeah, Fatad Aruden is.
And we've got a penalty marker here as well.
Back up to Gerard Swan. Very hard runner. Obviously, the problem is you're behind Swan, who's having such a good year. But now they got a little opportunity to get Fatah in there.
See if we can see the hold here. Tough to tell there. I think it was earlier on, just as he got across the line of scrimmage. So holding the call negates a strong run. Moves it out to the 36-yard line. 1st and 20. And Dwyer wants to set up a screen. Rudin makes the catch, but is stopped at the line of scrimmage. May have actually lost a yard that time. So once again, Hunter and Britt both there for Tosa East.
Yeah, the guard didn't pick up his man that he had to on that little screen pass. They invited him in. They dropped the ball. But you've got to get that block. 63 has to get himself in position so the back can cut off his tail.
And they'll toss it out to Nerudin. He'll be stopped for a short gain. Good coverage out there. Getting there defensively. Crape again, I said, the senior, I should say, the captain. There's a pair of sacks coming into the game here tonight. We've got a Tosa East player down. So play stopped here while they tend to the injured Tosa East player. 31-0 Marquette. We're early in the second quarter here at Hart Park as we toss it down to Kara.
Marquette High and Wauwatosa East.
Thank you so much. I've got Sergeant Cova here with the United States Marine Corps. Now, why is it that you joined the United States Marines?
I definitely joined the Marine Corps because I love to travel. I mean, at 19 years old, I went to 4 different countries. How many people can say that, you know?
And other than the travel, what would you say are the major benefits for joining?
Definitely getting my college tuition paid for, 100%. I mean, not a lot of people take advantage of that opportunity, and I certainly did. So, I love it.
And so now that we're standing on the football field, how would you say that youth sports preps you for joining the Marines?
Well, obviously you have to be in pretty good physical condition. Me being in the Marines, you got to make sure you can do pull-ups, run, crunches. You got to stay in shape no matter what.
And where can folks get any information on joining?
Well, if you definitely go online, you could easily type in marines.com and you'll find me or some other Marine like myself, you know.
Well, thank you so much for all that you do for our country and for joining us this season.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Kara. Giampietro with the touchdown catch from 34 yards out on 3rd and long. Dwyer led him beautifully as he ran under the football. Giampietro with the touchdown. Marquette pounding Tosa East here in this first half.
Things just keep, going the wrong way for Tosa East. Players competing hard, just not having, quite the numbers to match the power of Marquette.
Dean for the kick. It is up and it is good. So as the rain falls here at Hart Park, 38-0 Marquette. They've gone to the bench for the push-ups as well tonight.
I hope they haven't wheeled the former push-up man into the ambulance.
Well, Derzana Menard is our Scholar Athlete Award sponsor this season, so coming up at halftime, we'll bring you those Scholar Athlete Awards. Kara also had a chance to talk with Alan Derzan from Derzana Menard, along with a few other sponsors. That'll all be coming up during our American Family Insurance halftime report. That's cheating. You got to get them all the way down and go all the way up, right, Coach?
He's not going to win the award for the President Fitness Award, the Presidential Fitness Award. So,
well, despite the rain, a very good crowd. Got the Best Buddies program going on here tonight. What's that all about?
Well, you've got 3 schools: Wauwatosa East, Divine Savior, Holy Angels, and Marquette. They all have clubs. It's called Best Buddies. Works with young people who are developmentally disabled. The Wauwatosa schools work with schools within their district. Marquette and DSHA work at Richardson School and St. Coletta's Day School. And they bring these young people to the game, give them a chance to experience being part of this crowd. And, once again, you see the other side of extracurriculars, how you can help kids who might not normally get a chance to participate in things have a role to play. And for those young people, the Best Buddies, it's just a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Kick made it into the end zone, so a touchback here. We'll put the ball out at the 20-yard line. Let's take a look at that scoring drive. Again, a short drive, only 4 plays, but the 34-yard touchdown pass tonight thrown by Dwyer.
In a sense, it puts pressure on your defense. You're turning the ball back to your offense. You'd like to come off, get a little rest. 1 minute later, you're going back onto the field. I'm sure they're happy about that in one sense, but once again, later in October, maybe you've got to find a way to grind it out a little bit more. But the passing attack is really running on high octane right now.
High snap. Lindemann will keep it, breaks a tackle out across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Broken play that time by the high snap. Credit Luke Lindemann, the quarterback, keeping that play alive. Seamus Floyd was there for the inside linebacker for Marquette.
Yeah, Marquette ran a little twist on the outside with the linebacker and the defensive end, and Luke Lindemann was able to cut up inside of that little blitz and got a gain of about 6 yards.
Well, if you're Tosa East, you'd like to get on a sustained drive here, pick up a couple of first downs, at least flip the field position here a little bit.
Right, you want to give your defense some rest.
Henry in motion, far side, high snap, deflects to Luckett. He'll run it up the middle for the first down. Taking the pile forward out to the 36-yard line. 10-yard run and high snap. Luckett, lucky that time, able to bring that one in and get the Wisconsin Lutheran College at first down. One more look.
Quick reaction by Avery that time to gather that ball in and then drive upfield.
That is the first Wisconsin Lutheran College first down for Tosa East tonight. Avery Luckett. Give them some breathing room here out to their own 36-yard line. 1st and 10, Tosa East. Play fake to Luckett. Lindemann rolling left in traffic, and down he goes. Back at the 24-yard line. Looked like Ryan Hecht was there along with William Kiesling, for the sack. A little quarterback sandwich that time.
Yeah, Marquette's getting a few of their substitutes in early in the second quarter on defense. I know that Coach Richards was hopeful that he could play on the fact that Marquette and Falls played such a close game, because Tosa East gave Falls a real battle for a while until once again they got worn down, and he wanted his players to say, okay, if that's what can happen, we can do it as well.
2nd and 22. Movement up front, and Marquette jumps the neutral zone. They were going to blitz that time and trying to time the count. So 5 free yards here for Tosa East. Hey, I want to remind you, Dr. Ed Gomes, Director of Spirituality Development for Liberty University Football, will join Mike McGivern on Faith in the Zone. That's Sundays at 8 a.m. and again at 8 p.m. to discuss his journey of faith. Faith in the Zone on Sports Radio 105.7 FM The Fan, or check it out at faithinthezone.com. 2nd and 17 following the offside penalty here against the Marquette defense. Lindemann with some time, airing it out over the middle. Nobody there. Wrong route run there, it looks like. A little confusion between McGowan here in the outside and the inside receiver for Tosa East, Adam Schell.
Yeah, and as the rain starts to come down a little bit harder, even though we're playing on turf, that ball gets a little damp, harder to grip the ball, make the good throws. They were trying to run a little wheel pattern that time where the one outside receiver comes in, inside receiver swings up the sideline, but they did not hit the connection.
So 3rd and 17. Ball at the 30-yard line of the Red Raiders. Tosa East. Lindemann wants to throw one more time, steps out of the rush, steps up, delivers, completes the pass near the 40-yard line. McGowan able to come back to the football and make the catch, but hit the turf immediately, well short of the first down. And so it'll be 4th and long, and the special teams unit coming on for both teams here.
Yeah, Marquette had about 7 or 8 of the second string defense in that series, trying to have them get some experience as well.
Dersarden into punt. Gets this one away. Fair catch signaled for and made at the 27-yard line by English. That's where it'll be. 1st and 10, actually out to the 28-yard line with 6:45 to go here in our first half. And it's all Marquette so far. For all of the info on the green and gold, including special guests, players, and more, watch Locker Room. That's Tuesday nights at 6:30 on My Place for Sports. That would be Milwaukee's My 24. In the rain here at Hart Park.
Starting to come down just a little bit heavier each and every time we look at that screen.
In the rain at Hart Park. That Tony Bennett song maybe, huh?
Well,
possibilities.
I know you're trying to get to one of those concerts. So.
That's right. Rudin with the carry, gets to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Good job up front. Tosa East ready for that play. Colby White stepping up to make the play for Tosa East. No gain, 2nd down and 10. Going to look at Patan Nerudin. Backing up Gerard Swan here tonight. Dwyer rolling right. Completes the pass. Reardon out across the 25, spilled down at the 26. Going to be short of the first down. Nice catch by Reardon. Had the drops early, but has come back, made a couple of nice, tough catches over the middle.
Right. Marquette is without its starting center tonight. I've been impressed by the fact that they've been able to not have any bobbles with that. Jacob Pels came in. Their starting center, Patrick Donahue, is out with a virus. Temperature got up to 103 a couple days this week. So Jacob has stepped in and done a fine job.
Nerudin picks up the first down and more out to the 44-yard line. Another Wisconsin Lutheran College first down for the Hilltoppers. DJ Verser brought him down, the senior defensive lineman. We hope Patrick Donahue watching back home. He got his English assignments done, correct?
Well, they're online. He just has to make sure he follows through on them.
From their own 44-yard line near hash. 1st and 10, Marquette. Run the jet sweep. Coming around the far side, that's Jared Ling. Inside Tosa East territory, down at the Red Raider 44-yard line.
Ling got into the game against Sussex Hamilton 2 weeks ago, rattled off about a 47-yard touchdown run.
And you see that in much more of the high school playbooks now, that jet sweep. You line that receiver up either out of the slot or off the far edge and bring him all the way across in motion to either take the snap or a handoff.
And it sets up so many plays because you can give it to that back that remains there in the pistol. Also, when you run that gentleman in the jet sweep, suddenly you change your strength. You can get 3 receivers on one side. Try to force the defensive backfield to have to make an adjustment at the last minute.
Dwyer with the run that time. The quarterback getting 8 yards on the play. Again, DJ Verser there on the stop. Sets up 2nd and 2 for the Hilltoppers. Rolling clock here, 4:40 to go, first half. This time it's Duffy. Duffy to the outside and out of bounds. Michael Duffy, the 5'11 junior, lining up in the backfield that time to take the carry and pick up a Wisconsin Lutheran College first down. Sabri and Klasowski there to make the stop for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, as the season moves forward, Marquette's going to continue to add to this. It's not just, like you're playing out in your backyard, throwing the ball around. They're going to have many variations off these different sets.
And they'll hand it off. Nerudin got across the line of scrimmage to about the 26-yard line for a couple that time. Derek Hunter in there. Derek Hunter, the defensive lineman, 6'2", 300 pounds. Pretty agile. He's got a couple of sacks already this year.
Right. And once again, they need to have somebody come in there, relieve some of their other guys who've been going both ways.
They'll toss it out to Nerudin. Coming back at you near side. Lost his footing and went down. He was trying to plant and cut. Trying to get past Kelnhofer that time, the safety, who was able to cover him up. Kelnhofer with 6 tackles here in this first half as we get another look. Wanted to cut back as he got to the edge. He saw Kelnhofer and just lost his footing.
Right, he had a little lane if he could cut back to the inside. But turf is getting a little slippery. Still a lot better than the mud that usually was Hart Park by 5th week of the season.
3rd and long. Dwyer with time goes over the middle. Ball's through the receiver's hands and picked off. Down the far sideline with it. That is Marvin Britt. Britt into Hilltopper territory. Finally wrestled down at the 27-yard line of Marquette. Deflected off of Reardon, I believe, and Britt was there to snare the loose ball. Each team with a turnover here in the first half. Let's see if that sparks the Tosa East offense. One more look. Deflected off of Reardon. Britt with the interception, and when we come back, it'll be 1st and 10 Tosa deep in Marquette territory. Hilltoppers leading 38-0. .43-yard interception return by Britt will set up Tosa East 1st and 10 at the Hilltopper 27-yard line in the rain here at Hart Park. See if this gets this Tosa East offense a little spark here. Luck at the single back behind Lindemann. The penalty marker's down as Lindemann will take it. I think it has two men in motion. Look like an offensive lineman in the back.
At the same time.
Both moving at the same time of the snap.
You know, we had featured Marvin Britt before the game as one of the defensive players to watch, and Jeff Kozabowski, the Tosa East defensive coordinator, you know, had a lot of praise for Britt. He had been leading the team in tackles this year, a 5'11", 210-pound senior. Good range. He, along with Copeland, they saw as being the anchors for their defense. And one of the things you have to say is Tosa East isn't just packing it in. They're out there, they're fighting, trying to make sure they can compete all the way.
Kevin Hicks into the ball game now at nose tackle, 6'3", 395.
There are a couple children out there I wouldn't want to have to feed at my table. Kevin, a very nice young man. I've had him in class, works very hard.
1st and 15. Legal motion penalty on the Red Raiders. Lindemann steps up, now on the scramble. Gets past to another defender, and then he's finally wrapped up. Got it across the line of scrimmage. Might have been Wauwatosa who flew in there. Able to circle back and finally make the play as we get one more look here, trying to step up into the rush. He got right past Hicks that time. It was Glynn who finally got a hold of him and wrestled him down. Let's head downstairs once again to Mike McGivern.
So guys, listening to the offensive line coach at Marquette, he said, boys, we need to keep our blocks a little bit longer. Do not take your foot off the pedal at this point. He said, hold your blocks. We're going to get the ball back 2 minutes to go. We'll run our 2-minute offense, see if we can't get one before halftime.
Thanks, Mike. That is one of the keys Maz wanted. He was after that offensive line in practice this week, and down goes Lindemann on the sack. Evan Wauwatosa with the sack. That's his second sack of the season, and a big loss back to the 40-yard line.
Wauwatosa's one of those young people you're happy to know, a 3.75 GPA. In addition to being an outstanding student, he's been selected to be the captain of the freshman retreat. Our seniors at Marquette High run a retreat given to all the freshmen, and he's one of the senior co-captains. Also is a member of the Key Club, volunteer work around the community.
3rd and 23 from the 39-yard line. Pressure again. Lindemann trying to get away and steps up on the far sideline, and it's intercepted, picked off by Michael Crowley at the 15-yard line. Inside the 15-yard line, second pick of the year for Crowley. He's had an active year this year. He returned a fumble for a touchdown against Sussex Hamilton a couple of weeks back.
That was a key to that game. Hamilton was starting to drive. They're coming down the field. There's a pile. Suddenly Crowley emerges, runs it all the way in for a touchdown. Totally kind of took the air out of the sails for Sussex Hamilton.
Now we'll see if that 2-minute offense goes to work here. 50 seconds to go here in the half. Up 38-0. See what Jack Dwyer has in store for the offense here. Dwyer on the roll. Sets up and delivers and hits the back out of the backfield. Duffy that time for a short gain. Takes it out across the 16 to about the 17-yard line. So a gain of about 3. 2nd and 7 upcoming here for the Hilltoppers.
Once again, Marquette's got a number of their second stringers into this lineup as well, trying to make sure guys get a chance to play.
Now Dwyer's going to be sacked back at the 10-yard line. Blitz that time from the inside. That was Cody White on the blitz, able to sack Dwyer for a loss back to the 10-yard line.
Yeah, Coach McGivern was telling us that one of the things he heard the offensive line coach talk about Marquette is don't take your foot off the gas, and you just can't whiff on a block and let your quarterback get exposed to possibly getting hurt. So that's part of that challenge Coach Maz was putting up to his offensive line to respond.
I think Coach Maz and the Hilltoppers are just going to keep it in the huddle here and head to the locker room up 38-0. A rainy second quarter here at Hart Park comes to an end. Marquette will take the locker room lead, 38-0, scoring on all 5 of their possessions here. All 6 of their possessions tonight, I should say, including a field goal of 30 yards. As the Hilltoppers head into the locker room, up 38-0. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights were at Hart Park in Wauwatosa on My 24. And welcome back. It's our American Family Insurance halftime report here on My 24, part of our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights. We're at Hart Park in Wauwatosa, as the Hilltoppers scoring on 6 of their 7 possessions tonight to take a 38-0 lead here at the half. Well, tonight we'd like to highlight 2 special student athletes. Again, the law offices of Durzon and Menard and My 24 are proud to present our Student Athlete of the Week nominees. And from Wauwatosa East, this week's Durzon and Menard Scholar Athlete nominee is Sam Potter. Sam competes in cross country and track, carries a 3.95 GPA, and is a member of the National Honor Society. He has received multiple all-conference selections in both cross country and track, as well as being selected Conference Runner of the Year last season. Sam volunteers his time throughout the community and with his church, as well as being a member of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. Sam Potter, our Athlete of the Week from Tosa East. And from Marquette University High School, our Durzon and Menard Scholar Athlete nominee is Jack Dwyer. Jack carries a 3.78 GPA. He is taking AP Calculus, Accelerated Physics, AP Chemistry, and AP Psychology. He's a significant contributor on the basketball team as well, on their fine run to the sectional finals a year ago. His coach says he is having a tremendous fall football season. Well, tonight's student-athlete nominees will be in the running to receive a scholarship thanks to the great folks at the law offices of Durzon and Menard at the end of the season. We're all set. Let's head down to the sidelines. Kara and Alan Durzon.
Thank you so much, guys. Now, Alan, why did Durzon and Menard decide to join us for Thursday Night Lights this year?
Well, you know, both my partner Bob and I have large families. Some of mine came out here tonight to brave the rain. I've got Poppy and Anna and Natalia and Alexi. And we've always supported youth programs and school programs, and this is just a great thing for us to be a part of. So we did it last year, we're here again, and can't wait for next year either. So thanks for inviting us.
Hopefully it'll be a little bit more dry next time. But now, if somebody does get injured at work, why would they want to call a lawyer first?
Well, there's a lot of times where issues can arise where people don't know what their rights are, and we always welcome them to call us and talk to us. Lately, what happens a lot is the insurance companies try and come up with ways to deny people their workers' comp benefits, and we're there to make sure that the injured party gets what they're entitled to. So anytime that someone is injured, we always welcome them to call our office. There's no charge, and to discuss the situation with us.
And what is that number that they can reach you at?
Well, they can reach us at 414-276-2100 or Durzon-Menard.com.
Well, thank you so much to the entire Durzon family for joining us tonight, and of course for being our Scholar Athlete sponsor this year.
And thanks for bringing the umbrella tonight. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Bye-bye.
Back to you guys upstairs where it's dry.
All right, stay dry down there, Kara and Alan. Thank you very much. 38-0 Hilltoppers on top of Tosa East. We'll continue our American Family Insurance halftime report here at Hart Park when we come back on My 24. And again, welcome back to the American Family Insurance Halftime Report here on the Badger Max Thursday Night Lights. John Weiser, Terry Kelly, and Mike McGivern and Kara and our fine crew out here tonight, braving the weather. Rain here at halftime, 38-0. Marquette on top. Jack Dwyer, 3 touchdown passes. Gerard Swan, a touchdown rushing and a touchdown receiving tonight to lead the way for the Marquette Hilltoppers as they lead it by a score of 38-0, scoring on 6 of their 7 drives so far tonight.
Yeah, Dwyer 17 of 21, as you mentioned, almost 200 yards passing. Obviously a good opening half. Decision to be made, I imagine, but how much longer would he be allowed to play?
Well, our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights wouldn't be Badger Max without Kevin Mazza. Kara's downstairs with Kevin.
That's right, I do have Kevin down here with me. Now, Kevin, what is Badger Max all about?
Badger Max, Kara, is all about having a lower calorie sport drink for student athletes, for elderly people with diabetes. We have 0 cal, but it's a better hydration option and a healthier hydration option for anybody who likes to perform.
If somebody asked you to compare it to Gatorade, what would you say?
Oh, so many things to say about it, but the main thing is it's third to calories and we're real ingredients and real sugar, which obviously helps in terms of performance, hydration, it helps with the muscles with the athletes, and those are the biggest things at this point.
And now, as our title sponsor this year, why is it important for you guys to support the community?
Well, I think I think I'll go back to the fact that it's a healthier option. I've coached for many, many years, and to see kids have, put things that aren't very healthy for them in their system while they're working out and playing, this gives them a better hydration option, and it's a healthier option. So I think supporting the student athletes locally is very important to us.
Now, we've been a few weeks into TNL already, and we've seen you guys carry this trophy from week to week. It weighs almost 70 pounds. Now, what is the story behind the trophy?
Well, we want to do something unique with, being a title sponsor. We want to do something unique and special, as our partnership with My24. And Andrew came up with a great idea with this trophy. Everyone has the NCAA championship trophy and all these other big trophies. We have this huge one at 70 pounds. We enjoy giving it to the winning team each week. I think the kids have fun with it when we announce the winner, obviously, but it's heavy. And, Mr. McGivern usually makes me hold it for a little bit longer as he asks more and more questions. So hopefully this week he doesn't make me hold it that long.
And there goes $10. Well, thank you so much, guys, and for being a part of Thursday Night Lights this year. And back to you upstairs where it's dry.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Again, thank you and the fine folks at Badger Max Sports Drinks for your sponsorship of Thursday Night Lights. 38-0 Marquette on top of Tosa East. Back with more of our American Family Halftime Report right after this. Welcome back to the American Family Insurance Halftime Report on the Badger Max Thursday Night Lights. Marquette on top of Tosa East, 38-0. As Jack Dwyer throwing 3 touchdown passes in that first half. Gerard Swan with a pair of touchdowns himself, one on the ground, one through the air. Alex Giampietro and Daniel Reardon all catching touchdown, or Michael Mackey, I should say, catching touchdown passes as well tonight. So it's a 38-0 Marquette lead as we head back downstairs. Hopefully a drier Kara with our special U.S. Army interview.
Thanks a lot. I've got Staff Sergeant Stephen Mullins here with me. Now, how does youth sports prep you for joining the Army?
Youth sports and being in the Army, we live by values in the Army. So they carry over in the youth sports, loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, things like that, teamwork. It helps build that cohesion. And that's the same thing as the Army.
So obviously those are great characteristics to have while going into the Army, but what are the basic qualifications for joining?
You need to be between the ages of 17 and 34, on track to graduate high school or have already graduated high school, be a good moral character and good health.
And where can folks who want to join or get any information go to for that info?
You can find all the information on goarmy.com.
And type in your zip code and find your nearest location. Well, thank you so much for all that you do, for joining us, and most importantly, holding the umbrella for me tonight.
No problem. Thank you.
And back to you guys.
Staff Sergeant Stephen Mullins, we thank you for your service to the country and the U.S. Army. That leads us now into our halftime highlights brought to you by the United States Army, Army Strong, and it was all Marquette in that first half, Terry.
Jack Dwyer on the mark with 3 touchdown passes. You saw Swan run it in for 2. I think this will be our first touchdown.
And Daniel Reardon with the first score of the ball game, and then Swan toss to the outside.
Basically crossed the goal line untouched.
Lundeen with a 30-yard field goal tonight. And Swan again, able to find it for the second time tonight. And a couple of nice passes to wrap up the evening here for Dwyer in that first half. That one over the middle.
Michael Mackey, little pop pass, broke through.
And then Alex Giampietro. Dwyer standing tall in the pocket that time under pressure, delivered a nice ball to Giampietro. And that's what they've been doing, tiring out the cheer squad tonight with the push-ups. 38-0 Marquette.
That poor young man's probably going to be late to school tomorrow. He'll be sleeping in.
So 38-0 Marquette on top of Tosa East as once again we head down to the sidelines and Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, I do a number of shows on Sports Radio 105.7 FM The Fan. One of them from 8 to 9 every Saturday morning is the Midwest Orthopedic Sports Medicine Show. Co-host Dr. Brian McCarty. Brian, it's good to see you.
Hey, it's great to see you, Michael.
So we do radio together. He's good enough to do TV. I've got to face radio. Coach Kelly, I know that line, so I don't want to hear about it. Marquette High guy, graduated from Marquette High, and he's now the team doctor, which is awfully cool.
It's incredibly cool, really a dream come true, something I always wanted to do, and I've been doing it for the last 10 years, so it's been great.
So was Terry Kelly one of your teachers, Mr. Kelly?
Mr. Kelly was one of my teachers years ago, yep, as was Coach Basham, and Maz was not my teacher.
No. You know, this kind of football, and I love what they're doing, throwing the ball, but I was thinking, I talked to Coach Kelly, you wouldn't see this in the smash and bash 'em era.
No, certainly not in the early days. You know, maybe at the end he got very much more creative and really opened things up. But, you know, Maz is doing an awesome job with the program. We're really proud of what he's been able to do and carry on this great tradition for Marquette High School.
So if you guys want to hear, it's kind of an Irish deal. McGivern and McCarty, Saturday mornings from 8 to 9 on Sports Radio 105.7 FM The Fan. This Saturday, Dr. Jenny Heineman coming in.
Yes, she's going to talk about sports psychology, really interesting topic, talk about mindfulness. So don't miss it.
Yeah, in fact, Coach Kelly, we'll talk a little bit about you with the whole sports psychology part. Boys, back up to you.
All right, Mike. Dr. McCarty, thank you so much, too. 38-0 Marquette on top of Tosa East. Back with third quarter action when we come back to Hart Park. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights on My 24. Welcome back to Hart Park. Badger Max Thursday Night Lights. Greater Metro Conference clash tonight. It's been all Marquette. Hilltoppers on top of Tosa East. 38-0, scoring on 6 of their 7 first half possessions tonight. Well, earlier this week, Kara had a chance to sit down and visit with the fine folks at Goodwill.
Boulder, Chief Marketing Officer with Goodwill here with me. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And can you tell us a little bit about Goodwill's mission?
Sure can. Goodwill is all about providing training and jobs for people with disabilities and disadvantages. What we do is we help folks learn new skills and get the employment support they need so they can be successful in our workforce. Last year alone, Goodwill Industries provided services to over 72,000 men and women in our local communities. So we're really proud of how we use work to help people improve their lives, strengthen families and communities.
Can you give us some insight on some of the programs that you offer?
One of the programs that's available to the public, and we're very proud of, is our Goodwill Workforce Connection Centers. We have 8 centers located throughout our service territory where we provide individuals help developing a resume, help them kind of tune up their interview skills. We give them access to technology so they can look online for jobs, and we also provide hiring fairs and hiring events right on site as local employers come to us and they actually are looking for quality workforce, quality employees. And so folks can come and we can help them in that job search.
Where can folks who are looking for employment opportunities get more information?
There are 2 websites that they can go to. They can go to amazinggoodwill.com or Goodwill SEW, stands for Southeastern Wisconsin.com.
Well, thank you so much for all that Goodwill does and for joining us this season.
Thank you so much.
And back to you guys.
Kara and Pat, thank you very much. Goodwill, part of our Power Zone this year. When the team gets in the red zone, Power Zone brought to you by Goodwill and the power of work. Well, tonight's Badger Max secret word For you and I, Terry, easy to remember. Football. Football is the secret word. Enter it now on my24milwaukee.com with a chance to win a Badger football VIP package from Badger Max and My24. Just go to my24milwaukee.com, enter the word football for your chance to win a Badgers football VIP package from Badger Max and My24.
People at Thursday Night Lights were just very appreciative of all these sponsors. They're doing a marvelous job trying to promote high school football as well as high school athletics in general, and they've stepped up to the plate, and I think we've seen by how they honor the athletes, the scholars, the different programs. They're showing you the multi-dimensions of what high school athletics are all about.
Lightning detector quiet at the moment. Shh, shh. Don't want that going off here in this second half. We'll have a running clock here in this second half because of the 35-point lead rule here. It's 38-0 Marquette. The Marquette faithful still hanging around here in the rain. Hardy souls.
And because of the decision that was made on the coin flip, Marquette now winds up receiving the ball to start the second half.
We talked about that in the first half. Marquette won the flip, deferred, and I think Tosa East confused a little bit, said they wanted to defend, and so it'll be Marquette ball to start this third quarter, and the kick will go out of bounds. So the Hilltoppers will get it out to the 35-yard line here based on the kickoff going out of bounds. Dave Strash, our referee tonight, out of Kenosha. Yeah, he's got a connection. He's Tim Allen's brother-in-law. Tim Allen on 105.7 The Fan evenings after Brewer games with his Brewer Report. He is Tim's brother-in-law.
Now that means you get a chance,
Back in the day when the fantasy football was just getting started, part of that league for a while there.
Well, all those folks,
not very good at it, let me tell you, Terry. Not very good.
All those folks in Kenosha, they're all kind of connected.
Yeah, it's a little bit of connection there. Dyer will hand it off here. Swan with the carry, so they'll go with the first unit here on the first drive to start this third quarter. Crape brought him down. That's 4 tackles tonight. Swan with a pair of touchdowns already in his stat ledger tonight.
Now they were able to work in a couple of running backs in place of Swan in the second quarter. I'm sure they'd like to give Swan the first few carries of the third.
Tries to make a move back inside. Nice job sealing off the cutback that time, forcing Dwyer back in the middle. Getting up from that bottom of that pile. Scott Henry, inside linebacker. Check that, Tayshin Crape, 21 on that stop for Tosa East. That's up 3rd and 6 for the Hilltoppers. Just underway, third quarter. Looking to throw in traffic, and it's incomplete. Pass intended for Reardon. And Jack Dwyer, one of the few incompletions tonight, thrown by Dwyer.
Well, this will be the first punt of the evening for Marquette. So Tosa East probably accomplished one of the goals that Coach Richards established at halftime. Let's go out, play defense, see what we can get up on the board, just see if we can start progressing, making a little bit of headway.
Ryan Gersunde, the junior by way of Australia. Did I understand you correctly?
I lived down there, moved back here just before they started high school. His mother is originally from the Milwaukee area.
It's off a nice punt. Takes a bounce past Kelnhofer and will roll dead inside the 20-yard line. 41-yard punt, no return, and so Tosa East will get things started offensively. Again, a reminder that Badger Max Thursday Night Lights is available streaming live online. Log on to my24milwaukee.com. Click on the Thursday Night Lights link. You can also find complete game videos and photos from this season's game. And our first downs tonight, again, sponsored by Wisconsin Lutheran College, located in Milwaukee. A comprehensive Christian college offering 37 undergraduate majors, an accelerated degree completion program for adult learners, and graduate degree options. Learn more at WLC.edu. Discover Days coming up at Wisconsin Lutheran College as well. just inside their own 20. And we got movement up front. And a penalty-marred game here in the rain. False start penalty this time. And again, Tosa East backed up another 5 deep in their own end.
Right, and those little things start to mount up. When the game hasn't been going your way, it seems like you can lose concentration. You know, we just saw a pretty good punt by Gersande. Happens to be averaging over 40 yards a punt this year. He's a junior. Hinted a number of the Cole kicking camps, and they rate him very highly. And so, you know, we talked about how Marquette wanted to flip the field with their punter.
1st and 15 for the Red Raiders. They've had only one trip across the 50-yard line. That was the interception by Britt. As they swing it out, McGowan makes the catch, get those 5 yards back as he's driven out of bounds near the original line of scrimmage. Crowley there for the Hilltoppers. Michael Crowley, the safety. So we take one more look.
Yeah, Crowley on the year with close to 60 total tackles. Also has had a fumble recovery for a touchdown and has 4 forced fumbles.
2nd and 10. Ball at the 19-yard line. Again, we have a running clock here in this second half. Long count here by Luke Lindemann, the quarterback. Rolling to his left. Now under pressure, and he's going to get it away as he was going down. Seamus Floyd right in his face as he was trying to throw that one away, and you see a penalty marker down. Rule it a sack, or is it going to go as an incomplete pass? Good hustle on the play, though, by Floyd. He's had a pretty active night tonight.
Right, also getting pressure from Noah Nordness, the 2 linebackers, both trying to put pressure on Luke Lindemann.
It is an incomplete pass. It'll set up 3rd and 10 here for the Red Raiders. Single back is Avery Luckett. We'll go 4 out, 2 slot receivers here. Now a penalty marker and too much time here, I believe. Delay a game. Nope, false start penalty once again. This is when the intensity level has waned on both sides here a little bit because of the score. This is what you got to fight through as a player. You got to stay mentally focused here despite what's on the scoreboard, despite the weather.
Yeah, you don't want to be standing around a pile, wind up getting hurt accidentally. You want to make sure you keep your head up, do your specific job. Don't be trying to just coast by. That's when injuries occur. That's when you develop some very bad habits.
So 3rd and 15. Lindemann again rolling to his left. And he's going to go down. Floyd again getting there. Seamus Floyd, the 5'10", 205-pound senior. That's Patrick Sisk, the 3rd in your picture there. Floyd coming all the way across to make the play there for the sack back near the 7-yard line.
Yeah, good pursuit by Seamus that time.
So Tosa East will punt this one away. Patrick English standing at his own 40-yard line. High snap. Dershardin able to bring it down. The left-footed boot. Take a bounce and roll. English will get away from it. Roll across the 45 toward midfield, and that's where it'll roll dead, and we'll take our break here. 4:22 remaining here in this third quarter as we take our commercial break. 38-0. Marquette on top of Tosa East. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights from a rainy Hart Park. $38-0. Hilltoppers on top of the Red Raiders from Tosa East. John Weiser, Terry Kelly, Mike McGivern, Kara, and our entire My 24 sports crew tonight from Hart Park. And I want to give the props to our crew out in the rain here tonight. As a big run on the far side, Nerudin will take it out of bounds just across the 15-yard line. Ali Sabri finally brought him down, but Nerudin with a strong run. Again, playing behind Gerard Swan, so some playing time here for Nerudin in the second half.
Right, now that time you saw some good blocking from the Marquette line. I'm sure that's something that pleases the Marquette team to no end. And unfortunately, guess what, John?
Yep, the lightning detector has gone off here at Hart Park, so we're going to be in a delay here for a little while. Stops the clock with 3:46 to go here in this third quarter. So, weather delay here. So the detector has there's lightning imminent in the area, and so we're going to wait this one out here a little bit.
You're required then to wait 30 minutes after that initial signal. And then obviously every time there's another bolt of lightning that appears, the clock starts running again.
So the teams will head to the locker room. The fans will exit the stadium here and get into the shelter here over here at Hart Park in Wauwatosa. So 38-0 your lead here. We're just talking big games for both of these schools again next week. Ironically, both schools will be taking on the Brookfield schools next week.
Right, and they meet tomorrow night, a continuation of rivalry week in the greater metro. Marquette will run into Brook Central. Obviously, a team runs the ball very well. Tosa East will run into a Brook East team that also enjoys running the ball. So tomorrow night's game between those two schools, the loser, now kind of down a notch. And so a pivotal game. Folks will watch that with a lot of interest. Menominee Falls will take on Sussex Hamilton. And then there'll be the Battle of West Allis as Central and Hale meet.
Yeah, rivalry week in the Greater Metro Conference. Rivalry week in the Southeast Conference, too. Big game tomorrow night. Oak Creek Franklin for the early divisional lead in the Southeast Conference.
Right, Oak Creek blessed with some outstanding speed. Franklin has come back this year. Running back, Beck is back doing a wonderful job. They had to replace their quarterback from a year ago. The offensive line in some ways might be even better than the outstanding line they had last year, and a number of those guys went on to college, but they've been replaced by some very, very skilled offensive linemen.
That'll be a key matchup in that Southeast Conference. Again, Franklin, one of those teams that hovers around the low D1, high D2 levels, so that plays a part in it too. At the enrollment, that plays a part in deciding the top 32 teams based on enrollment fill out those divisions for the playoffs.
Right. Unlike the other sports in WIA, you're not assigned at the beginning of the year. You don't quite know how this is going to break out. Obviously, the huge schools, the Stephen Points, the Marquettes, the Arrowhead, they know they'll be D1. But then they have to go through and find 32 teams that have a winning record in their conference. Then they draw the line and they keep going. So there is a sliding scale, and that's why you have to get to those 4-win total in your conference to qualify for the playoffs.
And weather going to play a part in it. The forecast, unfortunately, more of this tomorrow, only a little bit heavier is what we're hearing.
Right. It's supposed to rain through the evening. The field at Oak Creek tomorrow night is going to be turf as well. I'm not quite sure where Brook Central and Brook East are meeting. Hopefully, I'm sure they would like to be at Brook Central, which has turf, because you don't want to see these teams not have a chance to play well. And maybe more importantly, you don't want your field trashed for the rest of the season.
Well, we're going to pause here. We've got a lightning delay here at Hart Park. We've got a coach episode for you coming up. We'll write out this delay, and we'll be back with you in about 25 minutes or so with an update here from Hart Park. We're in a lightning delay. Marquette on top of Tosa East, 38-0. Stay tuned. We've got a coach episode for you, and then we'll have an update for you in about 25 minutes here on the Badger Max Thursday Night Lights on My 24. Back at Hart Park in Wauwatosa, due to the inclement weather and the impending Storms that are moving in, the coaches and the officials have called this one a final here tonight. Play suspended late third quarter. Marquette, your winner, 38-0 over Tosa East. John Weiser, Terry Kelly with you back at Hart Park. Time now to head down to the sideline. Mike McGivern with our trophy presentation.
Boys, I'll tell you what, everybody here at Marquette wants to take my job. I can feel it. Number 9, he's all into this stuff. Our U.S. Army player of the game. Mr. Dwyer, nice game. You did well.
Thank you.
Yeah, you feel it? All the other Marquette boys can go. He's a quarterback, kind of quiet. I think there's some boys you want to thank, right?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to the Wolfpack. Yeah. I got one more. Oh, yeah. And then I'd like to give a shout out to my O-line, of course.
Yeah. So Coach, you know what? Great start, obviously, and I talked right away with Coach Kelly. I said, look, this is not smash and bash him anymore, man. We spread him out, throw him. You guys do an awfully nice job of keeping him upright. He takes his time throwing the ball to wide open guys. Team looked good tonight.
Well, thanks, Mike. I really appreciate it. I'm really proud of all these guys. Proud of the offense, proud of the defense, proud of special teams. Guys were hitting on all cylinders tonight, and that's exactly what we wanted to come out and do. That was our game plan, and I think we accomplished it.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Feeling pretty good about the conference. You got some tough games coming up.
We got four tough games coming up, and we're going to take them one by one.
Yeah, I think that's good. Hey, Kevin, come on in. Badger Max Trophy. I'm going to have number 9 hold this thing. Come here. Hold on. Kevin, hold on. Yeah, hold on. I'm going to get out of here in a minute. Kevin, you got a few. Hold on 1 second.
Honestly, though, number 9 here, he's been aggressive with this trophy for the last 10 minutes. He's excited about it right now. Guys, coaches, well done today. Execution was great. Very impressive performance out there.
Thank you.
Conference win, right?
Presentation to our winners tonight, Marquette University High School. Our Player of the Game award, well, we've kind of tipped that off. Quarterback Jack Dwyer, our Player of the Game tonight. And let's take a look at his night tonight.
Right, I mean, he is throwing for 3 touchdowns, directed the offense extremely well. Touchdown pass to Reardon to open things up.
This is a nice throw here.
Right in stride. DiPietro.
On his one scramble tonight.
Right.
Called his own number to run it up. But a nice night for Dwyer. 3 touchdown passes tonight for Dwyer, our Player of the Game, Jack Dwyer. Presentation of our Player of the Game brought to you by the United States Army. Army strong. Hilltoppers on top of Tosa East 38-0. Next week we're back in Kenosha as Badger Max Thursday Night Lights heads to Amici Field. Kenosha Tremper hosting the Oak Creek Knights in a Southeast Conference matchup. That's next Thursday night at 7 right here on My 24. Again, play suspended in the third quarter due to lightning. 38-0 Marquette a winner here tonight. For our entire My 24 crew, nicely done in the weather tonight, crew. And for Terry Kelly, Mike McGivern, and Kara, John Weiser saying good night from Wauwatosa. Marquette a winner, 38-0. Our Badger Max Thursday Night Lights on My 24.
Badger Max Thursday Night Lights on My 24 is brought to you by Badger Max Premium Sports Drinks. Drink it to the max. Menards. Save big money at Menards. Wisconsin Lutheran College. American Family Insurance. And by Durzon and Menard. They work for the average Joe. Additional support has been provided by the U.S. Army, the Marines, Goodwill, and Sports Radio 105.7 FM, The Fan.